Let's begin.
Hello, everyone. A very warm welcome back to the studio. It is wonderful to have you with us for another deep dive episode of Podcast by MrB.
Hello, Mr. B, and a big warm hello to our global classroom. I am so happy to be here today, even though I had a slightly stressful morning.
Oh no, a stressful morning? What happened, Anna? You look very calm now.
I am calm now, but an hour ago, my heart was beating so fast. I was sending a very important email to our video editor. It had all the files for our next project. I typed the email, attached nothing, and hit send.
Oh, the classic missing attachment.
Yes, and then I panicked. I didn't know what to say. Should I say, I am so sorry, please forgive me, I am terrible? Or should I just send the files and pretend nothing happened? It is so hard to know the right English words when you are panicking.
That is such a relatable story, Anna. Every single person listening to this podcast has done exactly that. We all make mistakes. But you are right. When we make a mistake in a second language, the panic is double. We freeze.
Exactly. You feel like you're going to get fired over a missing PDF file.
And that is exactly why today's episode is so important. Today, we're going to master a critical professional skill: how to apologize for mistakes at work.
I am so ready for this. I need a plan for the next time I mess up.
We are going to give you a perfect plan. We will learn why saying "I am sorry" 100 times actually makes you look bad, how to take responsibility like a leader, and how to use natural, real-talk phrases so you sound confident even when you make an error.
That sounds amazing.
It is going to change the way you work. And before we dive in, if these lessons are helping you feel more confident in your English, please take 1 second to like this video and subscribe to Podcast by MrB.
Yes, joining our community is free, and it helps us keep making these lessons for you. Share it with a coworker who might need a little help too.
Perfect. Okay, Anna, let's talk about the biggest mistake people make after they make a mistake.
The mistake after the mistake? What is that?
It's what I call the sorry trap. When learners make a small mistake, they over-apologize. They say, "I am so sorry. I'm terribly sorry. Please forgive me. It was a huge mistake."
I definitely do that. I want them to know I feel bad.
It's a nice instinct, but in a professional English environment, over-apologizing actually makes you look less confident. It makes a small mistake look like a huge disaster. And more importantly, saying sorry doesn't fix the problem.
That is a really good point. Saying sorry doesn't put the attachment in the email.
Exactly. So we're going to use a simple, powerful structure used by top professionals. I call it the O.F.P Method.
O.F.P Method. I have my notebook ready. What does it stand for?
It stands for own it, fix it, prevent it.
Own it, fix it, prevent it. Okay, let's break that down. What is step 1?
Step 1 is own it. This means you take responsibility quickly and clearly. You don't blame the computer, you don't blame your coworker, and you don't make excuses.
No excuses. That is hard when you want to protect yourself.
It is hard, but honesty is the fastest way to build trust. Instead of a long emotional apology, use a clear professional phrase. For example, "I made an oversight," or "that was my mistake."
I made an oversight. What does oversight mean?
An oversight is a very professional word for a mistake where you forgot something or missed a small detail. It sounds much better than saying, "I did a bad job."
Oh, I love that word. I made an oversight. It sounds very smart.
It does. Let's practice a few ways to own it. Listeners, I want you to speak out loud with us. Repeat Anna.
Okay, let's practice. Repeat after me. That was my mistake. I apologize.
Pause. Excellent. Now try this one. I made an oversight on that report.
Pause. Perfect. And one more, a very natural one. You are right. I completely missed that.
Pause. Great job. Notice how calm those phrases sound. You are owning the mistake, but you're not crying about it.
I feel more professional just saying them. Okay, so I owned the mistake, I sent the email without the file, and I said that was my oversight. What is step 2?
Step 2 is fix it. This is the most important part. In business, people care much more about the solution than the apology. You need to tell them exactly what you are doing to solve the problem right now.
So I shouldn't just wait for them to tell me what to do.
Exactly. You take action. If you forgot the attachment, your fix-it phrase is, I am sending the correct file right now.
Ah, I see. I put the apology and the action together. That was my oversight. I am sending the correct file right now.
Perfect. That's a 10 out of 10 professional response. The person reading that email will immediately relax because the problem is already solved.
Let's practice some fix-it phrases. I know our listeners need these.
Good idea. Let's do the repeat after us exercise. Listeners, focus on sounding helpful and active.
Repeat after me. I will correct that immediately.
Pause. Very good. Try this one. I am updating the document right now.
Pause. Excellent. And one more. I will contact the client and fix the issue.
Pause. You're doing great. Remember, the faster you move to the fix-it stage, the faster the mistake is forgotten.
I really like this O.F.P method. Own it, fix it, but what is step 3? Prevent it?
Yes, prevent it. This step is for medium or large mistakes. If it's just a missing email attachment, you don't need step 3. But if you made an error on a big presentation or a financial report, you need to show your boss that it won't happen again.
How do I do that without sounding defensive?
You use a future-focused phrase. You explain your new plan. For example, moving forward, I will double-check the numbers before submitting.
Moving forward, that's a great business phrase. It means from now on, right?
Exactly. Moving forward shows you are looking at the future, not crying about the past. Another good phrase is, to prevent this from happening again, I have created a new checklist.
That shows you are organized. So if I put all 3 together for a big mistake, it sounds like this. That was my mistake. I will correct the report immediately. Moving forward, I will double-check the data with the team.
Anna, if you said that to me, I would want to give you a promotion. It sounds so incredibly competent and mature.
Wow, it really takes the fear away when you have a formula. Own it, fix it, prevent it.
Now, Anna, we have been talking a lot about formal business English, but what happens if you make a mistake with your work best friend, or if you just spill a little coffee in the break room?
Yes, I can't say I made an oversight. I am updating the coffee situation immediately. That would sound crazy.
It really would. You would sound like a robot. And that's why it's time for our Real Talk secret.
Oh, I love the real talk sections. What is the secret for apologizing to friends at work?
In casual, everyday office situations, native speakers use entirely different phrases to apologize. These are shorter, friendlier, and show that the mistake isn't a big deal. The first one is a classic, my bad.
My bad. I hear this in movies all the time. Does it literally mean my bad mistake?
Pretty much. It means, oops, that was my fault, sorry. But remember, this is only for very small mistakes. If you accidentally take someone's pen, you say, oh, my bad, here you go.
So I definitely should not say my bad if I delete the entire company database.
Please do not say my bad to the CEO if the website crashes. You will definitely get fired.
Okay, noted. My bad is for small things. What is another real talk phrase?
Another great one is, I messed up.
I messed up. I like how that sounds. Is it a little more serious than my bad?
Yes, it means I made a mistake, but it's conversational. If you're talking to your manager and you have a good relationship, you can say, hey, I messed up the schedule for tomorrow. Let me fix it. It shows honesty without being overly formal.
Let's practice these real talk phrases. Listeners, repeat after us to sound like a natural native speaker.
For a tiny mistake, say, oh, my bad. Let me grab that for you.
Pause. Perfect. For a medium mistake with a coworker, say, hey, I totally messed up the meeting time. Sorry.
Pause. Great. And one more very common one. That's on me. I'll fix it.
Pause. Oh, that's on me. That means the responsibility is on me. I like that one.
It is extremely common in team meetings. If someone asks, "Why isn't this finished?" you can just raise your hand and say, "That's on me. I'll have it done by noon." It's extremely confident and casual.
MrB, this is so helpful. I have the formal O.F.P method and I have the casual real talk phrases. I feel armed and ready.
You are ready, but the best way to make these phrases stick in your brain is to practice them in a real scenario. Let's do a role play.
I'm ready. Let's make it a stressful one.
Okay, I'm your manager. We're in a meeting. You were supposed to bring printed copies of the sales presentation for everyone, but you completely forgot them on your desk.
Oh no, the worst nightmare. Okay, I will use the O.F.P method.
All right, let's begin. All right, everyone, let's look at the presentation. Anna, do you have the printed copies for the team?
Oh, MrB, that is my oversight. I left the copies on my desk. I will go grab them immediately. It will only take 1 minute.
Okay, please do. We need to review those numbers.
Moving forward, I will set a reminder on my phone so I never forget them before a meeting. I will be right back.
And scene. Wow, Anna, how did that feel?
It felt great. I didn't say "I'm sorry" even once, but I still felt extremely polite and helpful.
Exactly. You owned it, you fixed it, and you showed me a plan to prevent it. As a manager, I wouldn't be angry at all. I would just be impressed with how quickly you solved the problem.
This is like a superpower for the office.
It really is. Okay, let's do a quick recap so our listeners can write these rules down.
Let's do it. Rule number 1. Don't fall into the sorry trap. Over-apologizing makes you look less confident.
Rule number 2, use the O.F.P method for professional mistakes. Own it, that was my oversight. Fix it, I am updating it now. Prevent it, moving forward, I will double check.
And rule number 3, use our real talk secrets for casual moments with coworkers. Use "my bad" for tiny things and "I messed up" or "that's on me" for everyday team honesty.
Perfect. Short, clear, and easy to remember. You have got it.
I feel so much more prepared. I'm almost excited to make a mistake just so I can use these phrases.
Let's not make mistakes on purpose, Anna, but it is great to have the tools when they happen.
You're right. Okay, everyone, it is time for our practice challenge.
We want to see you use the O.F.P method right now in the comments. We're going to give you a scenario.
The scenario is you sent an email to your boss, but you spelled the client's name wrong.
Go to the comments and write your apology. Use the own it and fix it steps.
For example, "That was my mistake. I'm sending a corrected email right now."
I will be reading your comments and replying to as many as I can. This is your safe space to practice, so please write a full sentence.
We love seeing your progress. You are all doing so well.
Exactly. Well, that is the end of today's deep dive. Thank you so much for spending your valuable time with us.
Thank you, everyone. Remember, mistakes just mean you're trying. Keep practicing, keep smiling, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Until next time, have a wonderful and productive day.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.